Hi, Stacey. How are you today?
Good, good.
I know that you volunteer for American Cancer Society
Yes,
and you also have cancer.
yes.
And I know that you now inspire people because the way that you look at this disease. Can you explain it to me?
I do volunteer for the American Cancer Society because I have stage 4 breast cancer, and at this point, as of today, it's been 4 years.
4 years.
Um, because I that affected my employment, and I had a lot of free time, I decided to give back. Um, to use that time that I had available to help other people that also have cancer. So I work volunteer for the American Cancer Society, driving other people to their doctor's appointments.
Oh, it's amazing.
Um, I feel there's something about giving is receiving. That some people say the more you give, the more you receive, but
Mm-hmm.
giving really is receiving. And I remember usually what happens is a lot of these women older than myself are going to radiation every day, and that's something you have to do every day, often for like 30 times. So Monday through Friday, and you do that like 5 or 6 weeks in a row. It can be very daunting. And I take them sometimes maybe only once a week during this time because there are other drivers. But this one woman, she was from the Ukraine, and I think she'd been here for 20 years.
Uh-huh.
I met her and her daughter at the doctor's office, and then, I started driving them like once a week. But these women, they tell me that they're going to go to the John Muir radiation, whatever, and I've already been there myself, so instantly I tell them that I've been there before, I understand, and that opens a dialogue. And then they hear what I've been through.
You can understand very well.
I can understand what they're going through, and I think that
Yes.
puts them at ease and
Mm-hmm.
makes them more comfortable that I'm actually going through the same thing, and they
Yes.
see that I'm capable of whatever. But this one woman, she was just so sweet. She was so generous, and so I drove her once a week for 4 weeks, and I would always drop her off at her house. And she was getting out of my car, and she's like, Stacey, with her accent, even though she lived here for 20 years, she just said, "You're such a wonderful woman." And as most people, when we hear compliments, we want to try to push them aside right away. And that's certainly one thing that I've had to learn, is to accept that, do much better at accepting that. And you know how you say people always tell me that I inspire them. That's been hard for me to accept that, but I've heard it so many times that I can't not believe it. I have to believe that now.
It's true.
So just by being myself and living my journey and talking about my experience with cancer, that is inspiring to people. But this woman, so she was so generous, and it was the last time I was going to see her. She actually gave me a card, and how I said "Wonderful Stacey." She wrote that on the outside of the envelope,
Oh.
and I had somewhere else to go, so I dropped her off. But I was like, that was so lovely. So wherever I went, and then I had a minute, and I opened the card up. She had a lovely note in there, and she actually had a gift card. And actually, at this moment, I can't remember, but it was like $20 off to Whole Foods, so that I could buy healthy food for
Oh,
myself.
good.
I
Yes.
started crying. I literally started crying because she appreciated what I was doing for her so much, and I thought it was the least that I could do.
Mm-hmm.
I had the time to help other people, and she was just so grateful that I was helping her. So actually later that day when I got home, I called her, and I just
And
told her how thankful that I was that
and
she gave me that. It was so nice.
and you handle this disease so well. You handle it very in the
I think
strong
I
way.
would hope that we're all just doing the very best that we can. We all are just doing the best that we can, and some people don't handle things as well, and they might not be as happy, or, more angry, but they're doing the best that they can at that time. And I just try to be really positive throughout the whole thing. Look at the positive things, the strengths, the things that I've learned,
And you said to me, when you tell people that you see a cancer as a gift, they get mad. They don't believe in you. You said it to me.
Some, because they are not ready to accept it. They're not in a place of acceptance. That's one thing in this journey, in my spiritual journey, I've really come to a place of surrender. You don't have any control over cancer. So I used to be a very controlling person. You can ask any of my friends.
Mm-hmm.
I don't try to control things now. Cancer teaches that. You can't be in control. So what are you going to do? Surrender. You surrender to the process, and it just makes it so much easier.
But
So these other people are not in a place of acceptance yet. They haven't surrendered to the fact. They're still very angry.
and surrender doesn't mean that you don't take care of you. You take care more of you, but you
Surrender
understand.
does not mean that I'm giving up.
Yes.
It just means you come to a place of peace. And so that you can be happy in the circumstance instead of fighting against it. You can go with the flow and acknowledge the things good and bad that come along the way and realize that's just all part of it. It's really how you look at it and how you decide to handle it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thank you very much,
You're
Stacey.
welcome.